Some of the most famous foods on Earth started as mistakes. As the story goes, in 1938, Ruth Wakefield ran out of baking chocolate at her inn in Whitman, Massachusetts. She chopped up a Nestle bar, stirred the chunks into her cookie dough, and expected them to melt away. They didn't, and the chocolate chip cookie was born. That's the legend anyway. Wakefield herself always said she added the chocolate on purpose to give her guests something different. But the next two foods really did come from a bad day. A sauce left to rot in an English cellar, and an overcooked apple tart flipped upside down in a panic. Both became classics the exact same way. Nobody designed those. Somebody messed up. Here are 3 beloved foods, 2 happy accidents, and 1 very famous legend. Ruth Wakefield was a trained dietitian, not a sloppy cook. In 1930, she and her husband Kenneth bought an old toll house in Whitman, Massachusetts, and turned it into the Toll House Inn. People drove out just for her food. One day around 1938, while making her butter drop cookies, she cut a Nestle chocolate bar into little pieces and mixed them in. The popular legend says she expected the chocolate to melt and spread through the whole batch, and was shocked when every piece held its shape instead. But Wakefield told a different story. She said she cut in that chocolate on purpose, wanting to give her guests something different, and she knew those chunks would stay soft and gooey. Either way, the Toll House cookie became a sensation. Nestle saw their chocolate bar sales jumping near Whitman and made a deal. The story goes that Ruth handed over the recipe for $1 plus a lifetime supply of chocolate, though she later said the bar never actually arrived. They have printed her recipe on the bag ever since. 2 chemists named John Lee and William Perrins ran a pharmacy on Broad Street in Worcester, England. They mixed up a batch of spiced sauce, tasted it, and hated it. It was harsh, sharp, and fishy. So they carried the barrels down to the cellar and forgot all about them. A year and a half later, while clearing out the basement, they tasted the sauce one more time before tossing it. Now it was rich, deep, and delicious. Time and slow fermentation had fixed it for them. Leah and Perrins bottled the stuff, and in 1837 they put Worcestershire sauce on sale. It is still made in the same city today, aged for roughly 18 months before it ever reaches a bottle. Around 1898, 2 sisters, Stephanie and Caroline Tatin, ran the Hotel Tatin in La Motte-Beauvron, a small town south of Paris. Stephanie did the cooking, and on one busy day, she was making a plain apple pie. The story goes, she left the apples cooking in butter and sugar far too long until they began to caramelize and nearly burn. With no time to start over, she laid the raw pastry right on top of the hot apples, pushed the pan into the oven, and tipped the whole thing out upside down. The apples came out glossy and golden. Guests loved the accidental upside-down tart. Years later, the famous Paris restaurant Maxime's put it on the menu as tarte tatin, and the sisters' mistake spread around the world. So the next time a recipe flops, stop before you throw it out. The chocolate chip cookie is the mistake that maybe never was, invented on purpose but remembered as a happy accident. Worcestershire sauce was a failure left to rot. Tarte tatin was a scorched pie saved by one quick flip. We treat classic foods like they were carefully designed, and sometimes they truly were. But a shocking number really were just accidents that somebody was smart enough to keep. Taste your mistakes first. New food history every week. Come back hungry.